Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Givaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtanya ki Jai, Srimad Prabhupada ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, Text 22 and 23. 23 only, yes. Okay. Chatyagratah sahagado harirastu paschat Vatvarshvayo dano rasi madhu hajanascha Koneshu sankaurugaya uparyukandras Takshakshito haladhara purusha samantat. Should we do first word for word or? Second part, where is it? Chakri, the carrier of the disc. Agrataha, in front. First, just we repeat, yes? Without translation? Okay. Okay, so let's start again. Chakri, Agrataha, Sahagadaha, Harihi, Astu, Paschat, Svat Parshvayoho, Dhanuasi, Madhuha, Ajanaha, Cha, Koneshu, Shankhaha, Urugayaha, Upari, Upendraha, Tarkshaha, Kshitau, Haladharaha, Purushaha, Samantat, Chakryagrata Sahagado Harirastu Paschat. Tatparshvayordanurasi madhurhajanascha Koneshu Shankaurugaya Uparyopandras Tarkshakshito Khaladhara Purushak Samantat Chakryagrata Sahagado Harirastu Paschat Tvatvarshvayordanurasi madhuhajanascha Koneshu Shankha Urugaya Uparyupendras Takshakshito Haladhara Purusha Samantat Chakryagratak Sahagado Harirastu Paschat Tvatparshvayordanurasi madhuhajanashta Koneshu Shankhaurugaya Uparyupendras Tarkshakshito Haladhara Purushak Samantat Chakryagrata Sahagado Paschat Tatparshvayordanurasi madhurhajanascha Koneshu Shanka Urugaya Uparyupendras Takshakshito Haladhara Purusha Samantat So word for word translation. Chakri, the carrier of the disc. Agrataha, in front. Sahagadaha, the carrier of the clap. Harihi, Lord Hari. Astu, may he remain. Paschat, in the back. Tvatparshvayaho, on both sides. Dhanu Asi, the carrier of the bow and the sword. Madhuha, the killer of the demon Madhu. Ajanaha, Lord Vishnu. Cha, and Koneshu, in the corners. Shankaha, the carrier of the conch shell. Urugayaha, who is well worshipped. Upari, above. Upendraha, Lord Upendra. Takshaha, Garuda. Kshito, on the surface. Haladharaha, Lord Haladhara. Purushaha, the Supreme Person. Samantat, on all sides. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Shukadev Goswami informed Maharaja Parikshit that the gopis, following the proper system, protected Krishna, their child, with this mantra. May Aja protect your legs, may Maniman protect your knees, Yagya your thighs, Achyuta the upper part of your waist, and Hayagriva your abdomen. May Keshava protect your heart, Isha your chest, the sun god your neck, Vishnu your arms, Urukrama your face, and Ishvara your head. May Chakri protect you from the front, may Sri Hari, Gadadhari, the carrier of the club, protect you from the back. And may the carrier of the bow, who is known as the enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugaya, the carrier of the consul, protect you from all corners. May Upendra protect you from above. May Garuda protect you on the ground, and may Lord Haladhara, the Supreme Person, protect you on all sides. Purport. Even in the houses of the cultivators, who are not very advanced in the modern ways of civilization, the ladies used to know how to chant mantras to give protection to children with the help of cow dung and cow urine. This was a simple and practical way to give the greatest protection from the greatest dangers. People should know how to do this, for this is a part of Vedic civilization. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram. So we have a very short purport here, but thinking about it, I thought it's quite important. Of course, we know that everything is important. Whatever Prabhupada has given us, every word, every line. Sometimes Guru Maharaj says even every space in between. They are also charged with the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the message is, of course, completely always transcendental and given to us to actually protect us from the greatest of dangers of repeated birth, death, old age and disease. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that that there is an art or a science of protection given to children. And this is but the whole, he says, it's part of Vedic culture, Vedic civilization, to know how to give protection to children. Children are very vulnerable living entities, and that's why they can be very easily abused. And it happens, unfortunately, even within spiritual communities. There's a lot of sometimes neglect, sometimes ignorance, and sometimes very vicious behaviors enacted by people who are of demonic mentality, and they abuse not only children. Whole Vedic civilization is culture is about protection. I will read a little bit from another purport in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Prabhupada explains Now, he says, in the glorious days, or before the advent of the age of Kali, the brahmanas, the cows, the women, the children, and the old men were properly given protection. So Prabhupada makes the point here before the advent of the age of Kali, which suggests that Kali will come to destroy this. This is the fabric of protected and safe and happy society. Society where everyone is given appropriate protection. People are protected. And there are many things we need to be protected from. The main ones is birth, death, old age, and disease, of course, because people don't know that these are the real problems of life. In modern society, there are some attempts to give protection or maybe some remedies to take some remedial measures against the problems, but they don't know what the problems are, first of all. They don't know really what the problems are. Whereas Vedic civilization is based on the understanding of life, the purpose of life, and also the problems of life within this material world. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada then explains the protection of the Brahmanas. So this is one thing, Brahmanas. We need to protect Brahminical culture and the Brahmanas, which nowadays, even in India, is under attack. The protection of the Brahmanas maintains the institution of Varna and Ashrama, the most scientific culture for attainment of spiritual life. So now sometimes people say, even some devotees, that we don't need Varnashram because it's material. But here Prabhupada says, maintains the institution of Varna and Ashrama, the most scientific culture for attainment of spiritual life. So to attain spiritual life, we need that culture, we need that Varnashram. It is supportive, it is conducive, it is what's going to help one to achieve that. Then the next point, the protection of cows, maintains the most miraculous form of food, milk, i.e. milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain, for understanding higher aims of life. So again, I remember, I think I mentioned this before, but I think it was year 2012, and I came across the information somewhere on the internet that India, and it was a proud information released by some newspaper or something, that India is the #1 exporter of beef, which means cows, but not alive. Beef is not alive. Cow is alive. Beef is not alive. So I remember that moment when I saw it, I was like, wow, really? Is this what is going on in India? And I couldn't really just come to terms with it for some time within myself. I couldn't believe it, that this is true. But the reality is very harsh. Kali Yuga is really, you can't be surprised anymore. There's so many things that go so wrong because of that influence of inauspiciousness. Kali is very inauspicious time. On one hand, from another perspective, we have the descent of Lord Chaitanya, so it's the most auspicious time for spiritual realization. But in other ways, it's very inauspicious. Cows are being slaughtered, and that in itself is the symptom of Kali, and symptom of the rulers, that they are inauspicious, demonic rule over the world, where the cows are not protected. Dogs are protected. If you kick the dog or mistreat him in any way in some countries, you will be prosecuted. But cows are being killed and eaten. So it's very sad. And Srila Prabhupada explains how important is cow protection, because that maintains the most miraculous form of food, milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain, for understanding higher aims of life. So, in some other place, Srila Prabhupada explained that actually without cows, there's no Brahminical culture also, because if you don't get milk, you don't get brain, and if you don't get brain, you don't get Brahmanas. So, those who are Brahmanas, they understand. They live in Brahman, they understand the Brahminical values, they understand the spiritual concepts they grasp them, otherwise it's not possible. So without protection of cows, without taking milk, one may not be able to understand anything. And so cow protection actually protects Brahminical culture also. So that's why it's very important to protect cows and to preach cow protection and do something for cows and spread the knowledge, and people should be informed, and all cows should be protected, not only Indian cows as some people may think. All cows all over the world should be protected. Then the auspiciousness may again manifest. So then the third is the protection of women, maintains the chastity of society, by which we can get a good generation for peace, tranquility, and progress of life. So again, women these days are given so-called freedom to do whatever they want, but this is the way of not protecting them. Women are like children. Srila Prabhupada explains, sometimes people raise objections to this idea that it's old-fashioned and it's like enslaving womanhood. But it's not. We don't give freedom to children because they're vulnerable beings. They can easily be abused. And in the same way, we don't want women to be abused. We want to take nice care. But it is also explained in the Shastra where the women are not nicely protected, where they're not happy. That destroys everything also. So it's not that it's Vedic culture, it's culture of protection. Prabhupada said this ISKCON society should be based on love and trust. So this is our culture, love, trust, and protection. It should be very nice. Everyone should be happy. There shouldn't be an abuse going on in any way. So women should also be very nicely protected from the so-called freedom that modern society wants to offer them. That freedom is just freedom for men to abuse them. And this is what happens. We can see that freedom granted to women didn't contribute to a better social fabric, yes, of society. There's so much going on. There's so many divorces. Now they may, or maybe in future, divorce rate in the West will go down. Why? Because they don't even get married anymore. Not because they make progress and they become more cultured. They just don't get married anymore. It doesn't make sense. Actually, in some ways, it's a dangerous thing to do in the West for men, because nowadays everything is geared in such a way that it's very easy to accuse men of abuse, even if they don't abuse. It's just one word a woman can go and say, and they will lose everything. So they don't want to get married. Actually, men become also afraid nowadays of even getting married, because they know they will lose everything once she goes against him. And she will go against him because, sometimes they go to work and they meet other men who are maybe better. They have bigger ears to lend to their problems. So, free mixing society, not a very good society. We can judge by the results. Nothing good has been achieved. Social problems are on the rise all the time, and issues and mental issues and emotional issues and so many. Nowadays, one of the greatest businesses is coaching business, because people need coaches. They can't cope with their own life, so they need. Actually, what they need is guru, who can give them spiritual knowledge and guide them towards the supreme goal of life. But we don't know. We have forgotten. The whole problem is that we have forgotten the purpose of life and the meaning of life. We don't know who we are. We don't know what the goal of life is. We don't know anything. We forgot everything. That's why we live in complete illusion. So anyway, protection of women is very important. It maintains chastity of society. And that gives good generation for peace, tranquility, and progress of life. So important. If we want to have peaceful society, tranquility, and progressive, we need that. So people think this is backward. Actually, this is progressive, according to what Prabhupada is saying here. This is what can grant the progress of life. But again, it's a question of definitions, yes, of what progress is. Modern civilization, so-called, or modern people, they will have a different definition to what progress is. Now the fourth point, the protection of children gives the human form of life its best chance to prepare the way of liberty from material bondage. Such protection of children begins from the very day of begetting a child by the purificatory process of Garbhadana Samskara, the beginning of pure life. So this is also very important. This is something that some devotees may not think that it's very important, but actually this is the very important point, Garbhadana Samskara, that one should conduct the whole process of begetting children in a very regulated and spiritual way, religious way. And Krishna says that, come with me. I'm that sex life which is not contradictory to the teachings, to the injunctions of the Shastra. So the way is that one should understand this is also a science of begetting children. It's not just like we can see, dogs meet on the street and it just happens. And that is what also happens in human society nowadays. People just happen to meet somewhere. Sometimes Guru Maharaj quotes this John Lennon, that he made that statement that people are, beget over the bottle of whiskey on Saturday night. And unfortunately, yes, very often it's like that. But that's not the process. You see, this is just, it's even worse than animal level of consciousness. I mean, it's just so horrible. The whole atmosphere, the ambience of the situation is just completely inauspicious, dark, so you cannot beget or you cannot bring. But again, people don't know what child is. They think it's a product of the body, so they don't understand that it is not. It's the product of your consciousness. What is your consciousness? That is what brings, responding to your consciousness. Living entity comes with the same, level of consciousness. So if you are begetting child without following Garbhadana Samskara, and you are lasty, and you are, maybe in anxiety or whatever, this is all going to affect the end result, the child. So it's very important to understand. It's like with the sadhana practice. We say that we have to get up early in the morning, and sometimes if people struggle, it's because they don't understand that it starts already in the evening. Getting up in the morning starts in the evening when you decide to go sleep early enough to be able to get up. So in the same thing, the child is not born, and this is the beginning. The beginning is before the child is born. So one should first prepare. There should be a period of purification. I mean, our whole life is a period of purification. We have to be pure as much as we are able to by practicing Krishna consciousness. But for that purpose, even more of purification is required, and one should strive to be very pure at that time. It's not that just, in the Western, but also unfortunately here in India we've noticed there's this idea, you get married that night. You get married, you have to consummate your marriage. And no, it's not like that. One should get permission from Guru to approach wife for union. This is also Prabhupada describes in Srimad Bhagavatam, that one should first ask permission from one's Guru to have children. With that permission, blessing comes, of course. And then one should prepare. One should prepare, and on the day one should perform Garbhadana Samskara, which may be very complex, but Srila Prabhupada made it easy for us. Just chant 50 rounds of Mahamantra Hare Krishna. There are a few other things one can do, but the main thing is chanting of the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And chant all day, and you will then see the result. So it's a very good way of begetting children. And so protection of children starts from the beginning, when we first of all we bring very good children, but then understanding also that protection of children gives the human form of life its best chance to prepare the way of liberty from material bondage. So now, if we don't protect children, we kill that opportunity for that human being to get out of the clutches of Maya. So that's why it's so important. And it's a great responsibility of the community, of the society, and of parents, of all elders, to actually give very good protection of children, to take care of them, so that they can grow very nicely in Krishna consciousness and prepare themselves for that, getting out of those clutches, for the journey out of this material world. The goal of life is, sometimes people think, they ask those questions. I saw recently someone wrote something like this: why do we have to indoctrinate children with ideology? Why don't you give them freedom? No, it's not that we indoctrinate. We give them knowledge. This is the whole thing is based on knowledge. There's a premise, there's a goal of life. I remember that I was recently discussing this with my cousin. He has some difficulties at the moment in his life, so we were just discussing a little bit, and I told him about the past of myself before Krishna consciousness, that I just didn't know what the purpose of life is, and I didn't have any idea what to do at all. I was just completely confused person, really, just completely. I didn't have any goal in life. I wanted some things, yes, I had some ideas, some kind of, some peace and love and happiness, yes, I had some spiritual inclinations, but it wasn't directed, yes, I didn't know what to do. So the whole thing is that Krishna consciousness is so wonderful, because from the very beginning we can learn what to do. And we also give freedom. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, that the spiritual knowledge should not be forced upon anyone, and especially children. We don't force them, but we give them. We share the transcendental knowledge so that they can understand. And there will be a time that they will also have to make their choices, hopefully good ones, hopefully based on this knowledge. But there is full freedom. Everyone is free. Yes? Well, free, not completely, but we have that independence, that minute freedom living entity has in this world. Not much freedom, yes. People are freedom fighters. They want to fight for freedom. But there's another place where Prabhupada said, the strangest laws of nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be altered by any living entity. Stringent laws of nature, the laws are very stringent, and you cannot alter them. You can fight for your freedom, you will fail. The living entities are eternally under the subjugation of the Almighty Lord. It's very strong. Yes, we are subjugated eternally. There's no question. There's no inch out of that situation. It's only illusion that we may think we have. The Lord makes all the laws and orders, and these laws and orders are generally called dharma or religion. And no one can create any religious formula. Bona fide religion is to abide by the orders of the Lord. So there is no freedom, actually. There is just this minute freedom that you may or you may not want to serve the Lord and accept that subjugation. But anyway, you remain subjugated, just in a different way. And that way is called suffering. But, the miseries of material life, birth, death, old age, and disease. No one can escape that. As much as you can call yourself freedom fighter and you think you win some freedom, in any way in this world, then you have to die. You're not free to live eternally. You're not free. You have to die. You have to get diseases. People want to have lots of money. That is freedom, they think. Yes, that is freedom. Actually, money, sometimes we say Lakshmi. Yes, money is Lakshmi, and Lakshmi belongs to the Lord. So when we can amass that money, we can feel that, yes, I'm free, now I'm God, because I have Lakshmi. But Lakshmi is Chanchala, so it will not stay with you because you are not God. You may think like that, but you are not. So there's no question. So yeah, we are never free actually. We are free to choose whom to serve, but we are not free to dictate the results of our actions. We are subjugated by the laws of nature. So yes, so protection of children grants them liberation from the material world. It helps them. If we protect them from Maya, from illusion, from misunderstanding, when we give the right guidance and also proper care, then they can grow very nicely. And we should give them real knowledge. Sometimes that, Srila Prabhupada used to call modern education slaughterhouse education. But it seems that those very strong words are not strong enough, because still so many devotees decide to send their children to those schools and educational institutions. And there may be many reasons, justified or not, but still the point remains, it's a slaughterhouse education. It's a very dangerous situation. It's like if you want to have a cow and you send it to slaughterhouse, it's like there's something wrong. Yes? You send your cow to slaughterhouse to see how it will do there. Will it survive? Will my child survive if I send it to a slaughterhouse educational institution? Will my child survive? Maybe. Maybe not. So it's a duty of parents not to let it happen. And there are many different ways of giving education, a Gurukula, but of course we have many serious problems with Gurukula, so we shouldn't be surprised that people have no faith. People, children were not protected in Gurukulas, they were abused in Gurukulas, so that's why people don't have faith. But there is homeschooling also, and of course we can create Gurukulas which will be free of that problem. We have to think how to create, and we should learn from mistakes. Sometimes people want to get rid of Gurukula completely because they think this is just something doesn't work. But it's not like that. One devotee, whom I personally know, he's from Poland, he wrote an article, he gave example of the aircraft industry. And he said this, they have those black boxes on the aircraft, so they register everything, whatever happens, anything that goes wrong, later can be understood from the black box. So they did it because in the beginning of the aircraft industry there were so many mistakes and problems and deaths. There were so many crashes, but they didn't give up. They decided we have to improve it. We have to make it perfect by looking at the mistake. Okay, what was the problem? What caused that crash? What caused that death? And fix it, and fix it. And in this way, improve. So we should also, the devotee was proposing that we as ISKCON, we should not shy away from looking at our problems. We should be able to see, okay, there's a problem here. Let's discuss it. Let's see what's the problem and how to fix it, and create perfect situation. Because we have perfect knowledge, and we have perfect, in one way we have a perfect situation to create perfect society, perfect community. We have blessings of the Acharyas, of Srila Prabhupada. We have all knowledge, we have devotee association, so we have everything we need. The only thing is that we may fail ourselves in some ways, yes. But if we can have a look at those problems and discuss them and see what could be the solution, we can arrive at a perfect solution. So the problem is not really Gurukula in itself, it's just that we failed in some way. So you have to see how not to fail and do it, because that was Prabhupada's desire. He wanted that children be given spiritual education from the beginning and that they are happy. Srila Prabhupada, we should understand this. Srila Prabhupada wanted everyone to be happy, and especially he wanted children whom he called Vaikuntha children to be very happy. To grow up in Krishna consciousness should be very happy experience, happy transcendental experience. And that will protect not only those children but future generations also, because they'll be able to share the same, they'll be able to give the same. These are strong samskaras that they will be happy to share Krishna consciousness and contribute to the next generations of people who are yet to come or who are yet to be born within the society. We should understand Krishna consciousness will go on for 10,000 years, Prabhupada said. After that, there may be decline, but at least for this time is that time that Krishna consciousness will go on, will continue, will spread, and that means new people are going to come, new children are going to be born. So we have to rectify whatever mistakes so far have been committed, and we should strive to create a perfect situation so that children can attain that goal of life. Now the fifth point is the protection of old men. And Srila Prabhupada says that protection of the old men gives them a chance to prepare themselves for better life after death. So better life after death. Usually old men, in the West also, in the Western culture, this is the idea that finally after working for some 40 years you can retire. And retirement means you just sit in front of the TV. If you have a little bit of money, maybe you go for some holiday, some sightseeing. It's just wasting your time, really. There's no concept of using the time and preparing this time for the ultimate solution of this material body. This material body will be dissolved, yes, with time, the passing of time. Sometimes we say that time heals. Yes, if you have some wound, something happens, you suffer, okay, don't worry, time heals. But sometimes we can say also time kills. Time also kills, so be aware of that. We have some time, but the time is killing our days away from us. It's taking every second, every moment. Could be the last, but if it's not the last, it's one before the last one. Yes, it's just with time we are progressing towards. Prabhupada didn't like this idea of birthday celebration. Oh, my birthday, it's your death day, you are born, and death was born with you. Prabhupada said that we are not born alone, our death is born with us. It's our companion, death. In some places you cannot even talk about death. They don't like to hear death. They don't tell me about death. Why? Why not? I want to enjoy life. Yes, but you're going to die. One day you have to die. Death is coming. No doubt about that. As sure as death. Yes, we have even the saying, as sure as death. Nothing is, as Srila Prabhupada used to say, death is as sure as death. It's very sure program. Life is very uncertain, yes? It's like that drop of water on the lotus petal. It can fall off it any second. So life, people invest their all energy in life, arranging successful life. Why it's so uncertain. And they don't invest in that which is really going to happen, death. What to do about this death? No one wants to die, but they don't think how to tackle this problem. It is a problem. They don't even want to admit, but it is because they don't want to die. They have even those scientists, so-called scientists, misleaders, who are trying to create some way of becoming, eternal here in this material world. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. There's no way. So, and then, disease prevention and disease, fighting the diseases, cancer, this and that, but it's not going to happen. These are the laws of material nature, and no entity, no living entity can alter those things. We cannot alter material, the laws of nature, because they have been given by the Supreme Lord, and this is going to be so. It's not going to change. God is not an old and tired man somewhere on the cloud who lost the control over the thing. No, he has never lost the control. He's fully in control always, completely. And you know what? He's not even tired. He doesn't even have to deal with it. While everything is being controlled, he's completely enjoying. Yes? Not this. He's not enjoying this control thing. He's not a control freak like some people want to be. He's enjoying in a different way. He's a very happy person, very joyful person. And he wants us to be part of that party, joyful party. So Yeah, so old age, it is also a chance. That's the last chance for you to really now recognize, okay, I failed. I wanted to be successful, but now I can't even move. I have a grandmother, she's 94, and now every year, maybe twice, she breaks her bones because, once she just was sitting and just she got up and and her bone broke during that moment of just getting up from the seat. Her thigh broke, and then, 6 months, immobilized. So, this is old age. It's not a nice time. And she understands it's not a nice time. It's just suffering. No hope. It's also hopeless because it can't get any better anymore. When we are young and we have some problem, we think, okay, we get over it and it will be better again. But there's a time in life when no, things are not going to improve anymore. It's only going down. It's a big decline. And the end of it is death. It's all going wrong, and then there's a wrong end also if you don't come to the point of self-realization. If you do, that's a good end. Prabhupada said devotees welcome death because it's like falling asleep and waking up in Golok Vrindavan, in spiritual reality. So it's okay, for us, for devotees who are fixed in Krishna consciousness and have attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord, death is not a problem anymore. It's just a transition, we could say. But for the materialist, it is a problem because death means also birth, and another birth means again problems of life. Death, old age, and disease. Again, you have to be born somewhere in some situation, and it's never perfect. Can anyone here say that I was born in a perfect situation? Can we say that? Was your situation perfect where you were born? No. Don't worry, you're not alone. We are all born in imperfect situations, and our situations are imperfect as long as we are as much as we are disconnected from the Lord, that much we are not in the situation of perfection. So anyway, protection of old men means also we should give a chance to all people and facility how to, so that they can practice, so that they can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They shouldn't be bothered by anything else. Just chant Hare Krishna and prepare for that last moment. So Prabhupada then continues, the complete outlook is based on factors leading to successful humanity as against the civilization of polished cats and dogs. That modern civilization may look so nice, it's shiny, we have big screen, we have phones, everything seems to be very sophisticated. But actually it is not really so sophisticated. It's a different topic now, so I'm not going to develop on it much, but Prabhupada just, in a nutshell, he says it's the civilization of polished cats and dogs. So it looks like it's polished, but it's still, a cat is a cat and dog is a dog. You can wash it, you can polish it, you can make, you can even dress, in the West they dress dogs, for winter time. They create some kind of, jackets and things like that, so they don't suffer the the pangs of nature. Yeah. So they may look almost like human even, yes, but they still dogs, If you throw a bone to a dog, it will run after it, yes, because it's a bone. Very dear item to every dog. It's a bone, I need it. So it may have suit and tie even, but it will run after the dog, and it will run after the cat also, because dogs, they eternally don't like cats. Although when they live at home together, it seems they have some, I don't know how it is, but people who keep dogs and cats at home, they don't fight. They fight outside, they don't fight at home. They resolve it somehow between themselves. Anyway, so the killing of the so Prabhupada then says, the killing of the above mentioned innocent creatures, those 5, yes, is totally forbidden, because even by insulting them, one loses one's duration of life. So even insulting, we should not insult. Cows, for example, they should never be beaten. Yes, they should never be put at any discomfort. This is very important. Those who protect cows, they should know how to do it also with great love. We should not insult them in any way. Because one loses one's duration of life. In this age of Kali, they are not properly protected. And therefore the duration of life of the present generation has shortened considerably. In the Bhagavad Gita it is stated that when the women become unchaste for want of proper protection, when the women become unchaste for want of proper protection, there are unwanted children called Varna Sankara. To insult a chaste woman means to bring about disaster in the duration of life. So, if we want to avoid disasters in development of Krishna consciousness, not only on the individual level but also on social level, we have to understand that this Krishna consciousness, Vedic civilization is a culture of protection of all those five, and that this is very important. Here in this particular purport, Prabhupada was, he mentioned how children are given protection with the help of cow dung and cow urine. Nowadays, vaccinations, yes, no, this is not the way, this is the real thing. Yes, we should learn that art. We may not know it, we should learn this art of protecting children, using cow products, giving them milk, and then, there's even burning incense. It should be incense which is made of cow dung, because that is very, also in a subtle way, a powerful thing, where it's purifying agent, yes, so it gives protection from ghosts, for example, and such things. So modern people, I don't think anyone would be able to relate to this, protection with cow dung and cow urine and mantras. Mantra is also an important part of it, yes. Today we give vaccinations, but those actually, they kill people and they damage children. All these vaccinations, they are very dangerous. I remember when our child was to be born, and of course the doctors, they always say you have to do it, they don't, at that time they were not forcing it yet, but strongly encouraging, pushing you, and we didn't want to do it, but we were a little bit in anxiety also, because they all give you this information. If you don't do it, they will get this disease, they can die. They give some, at the time of birth even, they immediately inject some things, some vitamin K and some one vaccine also, because they say if you don't do it, then the blood may, I don't know, some cells may break and then they can have a stroke or something like this. So it's really, it puts you in a state of anxiety and fear if you hear such things, yes. But we contacted our Ayurvedic doctor here from Udupi. He said, no need, don't do that. There's no need. The Lord will protect. Okay, thank you very much. So we're very happy to hear that, and we never did it. But there are many cases of even devotees I know personally who did that, and there were very strong side effects. So we should not have faith in this modern science, modern medicine. Okay, sometimes we need to use that also, but not that, slight fever, immediately go, give some shot, give some injection, give vaccinations and this and that. We should have faith in the Lord. Because otherwise, if you do it, you actually invite problems. If you have faith in the Lord and the problems come anyway, that's, you can't avoid. But we should not invite problems by using these things. And it's a very dangerous program, this vaccination program. There are many people who give reports of severe side effects, and also with children's autism and all these other things, they are on the rise because of the vaccination program. Many people say that. I'm not an expert, I'm not making here absolutist statements, but just, just some people say there are very valid concerns, at least we can say that. So we have to be very careful, develop the Vedic arts of protection, and stick to that program, and have faith in the Lord, and just accept whatever comes. So, and make life perfect. We have to remember that the main program of protection is giving spiritual knowledge that can give one the key to open the door to eternity. We are stuck in this material world of birth and death. The purpose is to get out of it. If we can see and analyze things always from that perspective, it will give us the right understanding and help us make the right choice. It's only when we forget about that, we start, we get into anxiety mode, and then we start, making decisions made on the materialistic mindset, which is always there. We have to always purify ourselves by hearing and chanting and associating with spiritual knowledge and devotees. So I stop here. This is time for us. So Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.